All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Frog Life Educator info session. My name is Kaylee Davis, and I currently serve as a graduate assistant in the Wellness Education Office. I use she, her pronouns, and I've been here for about 3 years, so I know a lot about the ins and outs of our program, even though I am not a peer educator because I'm a graduate student. So we have our lovely peer educators on to tell you a little bit about their experience.
Hi, my name is Amelia. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a nutrition major. I'm a junior, and I was actually recruited at a Frog Life Educator event in my first year residence hall. And the graduate assistant there, she was super kind and she was able to tell me more about how this could coincide with my major, as well as the fact that I want to go into healthcare and meeting patients, etc. And I was looking for more opportunities to be involved on campus as well as strengthen both my leadership, collaboration skills, and also my graphic design skills.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sam. I use they, she pronouns. I am a senior. I'm a psychology child development double major, and I joined FLE because I was recruited by one of the professional staff when I was a resident assistant, when I asked him to join me for a program that I had asked the group to do at my res hall, and he told me about it and was like, I think you'd be really good for this. And I've really benefited from it and used a lot of my experience and examples in my graduate applications, actually. So one thing that people might ask when coming into this program is, who are you more likely to seek advice from? Somebody that seems to have a lot more authority or might be intimidating, or somebody that you trust, and that is going through the same things you are in college at the same time as you. And that kind of is answered with peers and students around you. I think peer education is really important because students are able to trust their staff, or sorry, their peers yeah, their peers over staff. I think what's really beneficial is that we use a harm reduction lens, and it's not coming from a place of judgment. It's coming from a place of maybe experience and things that you've been through. But you can really connect one-on-one with people that are your age and are feeling the same kinds of peer pressure, feeling the same kinds of scenarios. And you can believe them because we're using facts and not opinions. We're just presenting things that we can prove, and bringing people into a table and talking about things that are relevant in our lives right now.
So, who are we? So, we are part of the campus recreation and wellness promotion. So, we are in the basement of the campus rec. And we have our own wellness education office. So, that's where we are. And we are students ourselves. As Sam and I mentioned, we're both still undergraduate students. So we're both committed to educating other students about health and wellness issues, ranging from alcohol education to even just hosting a Just Dance opportunity, like literally having Just Dance for people to play. So our goal is to, again, educate our peers with information that they may not otherwise know. And as Sam mentioned, it's more understandable and you may receive it better if you get information from someone that you can relate to, a peer, rather than someone in a position of power like a faculty member or staff member. And again, we help our peers make decisions that best align with their goals without feeling pressure or any other, I guess, pressures. Yeah.
So when talking about what a Frog Life Educator does, I want to make it clear that you can really fit this into any kind of schedule, as long as you can set aside a couple hours, maybe a week. We do have one mandatory meeting that we do once a week. That's just an hour. That's really good time to bond with your fellow peer educators and also learn more about different kinds of topics that you might educate on through a campaign or a program. You do have a training and retreat at the beginning of each semester. It's really fun time to bond. You do a lot of fun and like activities while also learning how to facilitate different activities. I have an incredibly busy schedule as a double major who typically takes 18 hours with a on-campus job or two at the same time, and I'm able to fit this in and still contribute fully. And it really does add a lot of meaningful and worthwhile experience that I've put into my resume, but also into just the way that I interact with others. And we talk about a really wide range of topics, really anything that can fit into the dimensions of wellness, which might be things that you might not originally think of. I really like and have a lot of piercings and tattoos. And so I have done programs that talk about that fall under the dimension of physical wellness, but maybe that's not what you originally thought. And it's relevant to me, and it's something I'm passionate about, and it's relevant to like college population and at age. And I was able to educate facts in those programs so that a lot of different people could consider safety before making big decisions like that. Or maybe you want to do something like Amelia said, like just dancing, or talking about spirituality and what that means to you. But yeah.
So that's a lot that Sam just mentioned. So how do we do it? So there's so many different opportunities to participate in things that you're passionate about, as well as work with others to create events that they're passionate about. So you can have both in-person events, like Sam was mentioning. I participated with them on a tattoo safety event. We did that in person with an actual tattoo artist there. But there's also opportunities to make things virtual by doing social media posts or Instagram lives or anything that you can think of. And there's outreaches and campaigns. So the tattoo one we just mentioned is an outreach where Sam and I worked with another peer educator, Rose, to create a really awesome opportunity based on our aligned interests, while campaigns are headed by a professional staff like a grad assistant, and that can be on a broader topic where you create individual events that coincide. So an example that I participated in was a connection and belonging campaign. And I was able to host an event about connecting with yourself, while there's another event about connecting professionally, and another event about finding different clubs and organizations on campus. And there's also opportunities for passive programs if you just have a cool display that you want people to add on to. We did a screen time one where people were able to write their screen time. If that's something you're into, you can totally design that as well. And as Sam mentioned, how they got recruited, we partner with resident halls to do alcohol education, sleep events, as well as sexual health events. So you can participate with those and work with RAs and hall directors. And being active on social media is another thing that we do. We're able to design our own Instagram posts, as well as Facebook posts using articles that we find interesting, videos we find interesting, or our own personal photos that correlate with any of the dimensions of wellness. And a recent event I did was I did a passive display slash outreach event around Valentine's Day, where the display was for people to write down something that they treasure in their relationships, something they want to grow on in their relationships, as well as relationship advice, whether it's a friendship, relationship with a pet, a partner, or a parent. And people were able to engage with that, read others' advice, as well as we were able to talk to people about why they put specific things on the board. And it was a really good turnout.
I know I spoke about and so did Amelia about the tattoo and piercing safety programs that we've done, but another recent program that I did that was a freestyle, which is sort of can be designed like an outreach or a social media engagement. It can be anything that you want it to be. Me and my best friend Rose did one about safe marijuana consumption and understanding what kind of percentages of things might be in different kinds of ways you can consume marijuana. There is a disclaimer that the idea behind a harm reduction lens isn't to say you should or shouldn't do something, but it's just providing facts should you choose to make a decision like that. A lot of our res hall programs that we do, like with around alcohol education, is not saying or that everybody on campus drinks or that you have to, but it's saying the facts that you can know to keep yourself safe when making decisions like that. And that's what our marijuana consumption freestyle was about. It was just talking about the facts of when does it affect your body and what can, if you mix it with something, what could happen there just based on factual information. And then I know I talked a little bit about this throughout my little bits, but what can you gain for being a Frog Life educator? I think there's so many different things. It's applicable everywhere and has really helped me be successful in my graduate applications for graduate school. But lots of communication skills. Our professional staff teaches us about things like motivational interviewing and how to talk to somebody or a participant without being nosy, but by encouraging, opening up, or in just encouraging conversation that could be beneficial to them in the future, whether they're being super engaged and really want to be there or they're messing with you a little bit, you're able to communicate around that in a really beneficial way. Teamwork, you work with the team with basically everything you do. You can do freestyles alone, but outreaches, campaigns, those are all together and all the meetings are together. And you get to work with a whole different range of people, but that are all passionate about some dimension of wellness or multiple. Time management skills, I mentioned that I have a very busy schedule and I have every semester, but I've been able to learn about how like better strategies for myself to fit in more programs and commitments with this, with a lot of grace and understanding at the same time. There's also event planning skills, so just learning, like thinking about times when you put different events and location, and considering like when do classes end, how are you going to get the most engagement in this, or how will this information be most beneficial? Like if you're doing something around nutrition, but you did it somewhere where there's no food, like there wouldn't be people like thinking about food, or around a food place where there's a lot of participants, maybe that's something you would think about. Or maybe you find it's the exact opposite and it's the best way to get engagement. You can learn about those things. There is a semester stipend. So it's kind of like getting rewarded for all of this, and you'll get it at the end of the semester once you complete all of your requirements for the semester. A lot of leadership development and just amazing friends and people that you can really get to know and feel closer with, and people from all over campus too. Tons of different sororities and non-sorority or fraternity involvement, and just people all different majors, which is so much fun. But yeah, you get to learn a lot about people, and you have awesome mentors too.
So, what do you need to become a Frog Life Educator? So, you can see it here, but I can read it off for you. So, you need to be enrolled as a full-time student at TCU, so being at least 12 credit hours. You have to have completed a full semester at TCU, and you need your GPA to be at minimum 2.5. And you need to be willing to serve as a positive role model to other students, since you're going to be working primarily with TCU undergraduate students. Sometimes some grad students come too, and you need to be a role model for them too. And have a positive attitude, be mature, and be responsible. Some of the topics that we have events on are more mature topics like alcohol education as well as sexual health. So being mature and wise about how you approach those different topics and ensuring that people are comfortable, but also having a positive attitude to attract people to the table and being responsible so that you're able to have an event rather than last minute trying to throw something together. And be in good conduct standing with TCU. That's very important. So these are all the things you need to be a Frog Life educator.
Awesome. Thank you, Amelia and Sam. They're both amazing and exceptional peer educators. I just love hearing them talk about their experience and what they've gained. I want to give you a little more information on our application process. So this says applications are open now, and if you're watching this video, they might be open now. Applications open March 18th, and then they'll close April 1st. We want to get to know you. So as soon as you submit your application, you'll be reached out to via email to sign up for an individual interview. That interview is going to take place in our Wellness Education office, which is in the Rec Center. You'll come in, you'll chat with us, why you want to be a peer educator, and learn a little bit more about our program if you have questions. And then from there, if you're selected to move to the next step of our interview process, we will have what we call a group process, where you'll select a time, and a group of students who want to become peer educators, they all interview together, and we do some interactive and fun games so you can get a feel for planning an event, but also get to know some of our current peer educators as well in a really fun way. So that's a little bit about our process when it comes to applying and next step for interviews. If you have any questions along the way, I'll put my contact information up here. I am the professional staff that's going to be in direct contact with you when you are scheduling your interview. So from the beginning of your application process, all the way through the end. So you can definitely reach out to me. Here's my email on screen. But if you're looking for more information about our program or want to connect with another professional staff, Yvonne is our Assistant Director for Wellness Education, and she's been here for over 15 years. So if you need to know anything about our program or just wellness in general, she's a wonderful resource. We've also linked our Instagram and Facebook in case you want to know a little bit more about those events Amelia and Sam were talking about. So on there, we've highlighted some events we've done in the past. There's also some information about where our office is located, and some more information about being a peer educator. But also pay close attention to the content that's created, because that's also come from our amazing peer educators. They've taken those pictures and developed that content. So that could give you a little bit of a feel some of the opportunities you will have if you join us. We want to say thank you so much for taking the time to learn about this position, this leadership position on campus. Once again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And if you see any of our peer educators on campus, we'll have some recruitment events coming up soon. So we'd love to chat with you there as well.